So what do y'all look for in an artist when y'all decide to work with an artist as on the management side or on the label side when you're thinking about signing an artist to the label, publishing deal, or if you decide to pick up artists as management? What do y'all look for in an artist?
Honestly, when I'm looking for an artist, I look for somebody that has friends. Because if you don't have friends, you're not really going to be able to get fans. Because that means nobody likes you. It's like but for real. Like you ever think about it? If you ever seen an artist that is trying to be like who says I'm outside or I have motion, but they don't have any real friends, you're like, well, you don't have anybody to support your music straight up, or people don't like you generally. So I don't know if the world's gonna like you. I don't know how to package that and sell it. But if you have friends, it's easier to be like, I know exactly what your friend group looks like, and I can take that as a sample size for me to now have a greater product or be able to push the product. So first thing I look for is friends, and if I actually like enjoy being around you, because if I enjoy being around you, that means you're generally probably a good person, and people generally like good people.
Yeah, for sure. I would say for me, what's most important for me is passion. Like, I'm big on passion because if you're not passionate about something, you're not gonna go hard at it. So if you're passionate about it, you're gonna go hard at it every day. So I look at passion with anything when it comes to signing an artist, with people I hire as employees, or just people in general. When you're passionate about something, you're gonna go hard at it.
I mean, for me, I think I look at star quality. If you marketable, can make some money, because that's the only way management make money. Um, I feel like everybody got passion, but everybody ain't got the talent or star quality. So I think it's different on the management side. That's kind of things I look for in work ethic. If you don't got the work ethic, I'm not interested.
But I mean, I've been around some people that's hella talented and just lazy as hell. Like they just think that just pure talent can help them, and the pure talent aspect of it only gets you so far. It gets you in the door, but then when you're in the door, they don't go the extra mile to say like they can go show up to a commercial that they have nothing to do with. They're just catching a B-roll, but that B-roll can lead to something bigger, where they're just taking just the opportunities that come in front of them and not actually being able to hone in on those. I think that's another thing that goes into. I look at having a business sense, like outside of being doing just the music. Yeah. What are you good at? If you like, are you a comedian? Do you play? Do you cook? Do you like? What are the other things that people can sell, like that we can package and sell in your life? Because like I think as an artist, especially in today's age with everything going on, you got to be able to do multiple things.
Gotcha. Makes sense. Sure. So I would say talent is definitely key and super important, but you also got to have the work ethic. You got to be a hard worker, and you can't treat this as a secondary thing. Like you can have a plan B, but this got to be plan A. This got to be your first option, and this what you got. This so that's why I say passion, because this got to be something that you're really passionate about and go hard for, and you do this every day.
Yeah.
So it's almost like I played sports all my life, and every day, all I want to do was play basketball. So as an artist, you gotta have that same mentality.
Yeah, I don't want to outwork no artist. Like I tell every artist, like you got to outwork me as a manager. Like if I'm outworking you, then I might as well be the artist at that point and make all the money.
Yeah. I mean, I think another part is it's always hard for me now because like people come to me like I want this type of deal. They'll say a number they want, but then when you start talking about the economics of the business, and you're like, bro, I can't give you 100,000. The reason I can't give you 100,000, you don't have.
How are you gonna make this money back?
Yeah, how are you gonna make the money back? Because I'm not gonna put you in a 360 deal because you are like the notion of what that is and people's misconception of it. Like it's not always 360 is not always a bad situation depending on what type of deal you're doing. Right. However, there's also like they don't want to like I want to have ownership. Okay, you want to have ownership. You don't want to give up licensing. You don't want to you don't want to give up anything. But then you're also not doing. You're not even averaging 10 million streams a month, or you're not averaging 1 million streams a year. So you're like, yeah, I want 100,000. Well, the reality is, me trying to break that economics down, it's gonna take me 30 years to get 100,000 back from you at this rate. So, like, I try to explain to artists, like, you come in. I had an artist the other day, like, he has a $150,000 deal in front of him. He's like, I'm worth $5 million. I'm like, brother, listen here.
Negro, please.
The only way you get $5 million is literally if you have to have a hit record right now. You gotta have a hit record right now. You have to have super motion right now, and you're giving away part of your merchandise. You're gonna put away the rights to your shit for the next 15, 20 years easy. Like, there's a lot that's gonna come with it because you're probably not gonna see another check. Like, the reality is you won't see, unless you just have massive hits on hits. You're not gonna see another check. Because to make 100,000 in this business, you gotta have damn near 100 million streams, over 100 million streams, and that's not even breaking. That's what 300. That's a little over $75,000, if that. So like, it's gonna take a lot of work on that side. So I think like understanding the economics of the business when you come in and understand that, like you said, you got to be willing to do this shit every single day, but also that the reality of you actually making that type of money is slim to none. So set realistic expectations.
I agree. So being that we all like wear different hats, like you very successful on the management side, JuJu, you very successful as an A&R exec, and now you got your own venture on the label and publishing side, and I'm a distro owner. Like, what are some of the terms that y'all feel like make sense for artists? So like for me, right, we have a 3-year licensing term. You know what I'm saying? So some distro companies have 5, some have 7, some have none. Like, so as a manager and as a label exec, what do y'all think, what terms do y'all feel like are fair in this climate, in the industry now?
I mean, for me, it's situational. Like, if you're a new artist, you don't have nothing going on, coming in, I'm getting 20% because I got to do a lot of lifting to get to where we're going. If you already established and I'm by myself, minimum 15. If I'm co-managing, minimum 10. That's my worth.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
I think from a label side, minimum license, like especially with the advance, because you're getting an advance, you're probably gonna have a marketing budget, you're gonna have all these different, and you're gonna get the resources of our team coming in behind it. At a minimum, 7 to 10 year license, and that's 7 years. Like, the only way you get 7 years if you have a massive record already, and we're coming in and just boosting the massive record. Because outside of that, it's 10 to 15, and the reason you got to do 10 to 15 because like it's a license. So after 10 years, it's going to run out. My license is going to run out. But if I turn you up for the next, mind you, your term or your contract might only be 3 years, if that. So if I turn you up in 3 years, and then you go on to say, okay, I'm going to go sign with a different label, and if you think you walk with your music right after you do it, but the label, everything I turned up and I invested in, I don't have any type of equity in that, that's crazy. So like, I think like at the bare minimum, it has to be a 10-year. And 10 years is like saying, okay, cool.
As a manager, I'm gonna fight you on that.
But it's licensed. You gotta think about it.
I know, but I'm gonna get at least 5, 6 at the max.
And see, that's the issue that I run into because I distro, I'm at 3. I want to do 5 or 7, but a lot of clients feel like 5 or 7 is too long. And they feel like they can go to another distro and get a little
leverage they got.
I'm about to say,
If they ain't got no leverage, then you in this.
But there's new situations. There's new situations too, where it's like, let's say we start off with a 7-year license, right? But you generate revenue, right? And we have a pretty good relationship, but you want. So if I already have your catalog with me, if I start distributing your catalog first, and then you go and you have a massive record with me, but then you have a label that comes in and offers you a crazy check. Well, the reality of it is, I still have the license to the original record, so that label will have to buy me out of that license, or because I have the master license of it, I can give you money. I can give you an advance on what I'm already going to collect from it. So it behooves you to kind of stay in that situation for as long as you can, because yeah, you can get a massive check from this label, but they're buying the rights to it. They're not buying a new license. They're buying the rights to it from me, and then most likely that money they're giving you is buying the rights of that. So I think it's situational, but in most situations, like I said, if you're coming to the table and you have a record that's virally moving, but it's not streaming well, like, and you have people that are bidding for you and trying to get a deal, like you get a $200,000 deal. The reality of you making that $200,000 back in 3 years is slim, unless, like I said, unless you just keep going. And because I'm not gonna collect on your show money, I'm not getting none of your publishing. I'm not doing any of those things. The only thing I'm doing is collecting the royalties of that record streaming. Right. So I think like it's a messed up situation to be in on the label side, because you're like, I don't want to never make you feel like I did you dirty, but I also gotta explain to you that I'm doing the business side of it, and that if I invest $100,000 in all 5 artists that come, I'm $500,000 in the hole, and I'm not gonna make that $500,000 back from these artists unless one of them have a major hit, or like they just have a constant pump of music.
So What are y'all, I know everything's situational. What are y'all thoughts on indie versus major? Outside of everybody, I know everybody want to get a bag when they sign. Take that out the picture. Like, what are your just thoughts on indie versus major?
I mean, for me, I feel like rap is easier indie. R&B and pop, I feel like you need that extra bag for marketing, push, and everything. But as far as when it comes to rap, it's easy to get a fan base. To me, well, I ain't gonna say easy. It's a lot more doable to get a fan base in rap. That you can push indie, where you don't really need a whole bunch of marketing dollars because rap just catch on easy. But when it comes to pop, R&B, country, I feel like you need that extra machine behind you as a major to get there. Yeah. Not necessarily all the time, but a lot of times they play with big money that a lot of indie won't have. Yeah, for sure.
One thing that also comes to that goes back to like when you say searching for artists, the friends. That's why I say friends are so important. Rappers can you can get a feature with an artist, and it's like y'all can go do 10, 15 shows and start getting it going in the streets. Like, and I think it also goes back to just like you look at the economics of it. Rappers get a record on the radio. The radio record is going to push their publishing. Mm-hmm. It's going to push that's how they get out of their publishing deals. It's like that's how their stuff starts moving. That's how you get the birthday badge. That's why you have a birthday badge. That's why you have the summer jams. It's because artists have radio records. That's all radio records. Mm-hmm. Most of those records don't stream well. But then on the flip side of it is, on the indie side, like a country or pop or R&B, how you said, it takes a little bit more money, but you also have a chance of it's a little bit more longevity on that side of the business because most of those guys are actually writing in multiple genres, like so it's a bigger business on that side of the business than it is for most rappers because they're thinking about the quick checks. I'm gonna go do 5 shows this weekend and collect all my club money. And not necessarily like it's very few and far between. Like Future, I think is a great example of an artist that said, "Okay, I'm gonna also go write on the side, like develop that side of my business." Where he's writing in pop, writing in R&B, and it's that comes from him understanding the business of it, but also understanding that the indie side is if you don't have a major behind you backing you, then it's a lot more work. That shit is a lot more work, and I don't think most people don't even want to do that work.
Yeah, I agree that it's definitely a lot more work, but I also feel, which is one of the reasons why I started the distro, because I feel like all artists should start indie first and build some type of buzz and some type of momentum and let the labels come to them. Because that way you got more leverage versus you going to them or chasing the label trying to get a deal. Build the momentum yourself and have them come to you, and you can get more favorable terms on your deal. So that's kind of like the reason I started the distro, CW Distro, because I want to give these artists an outlet to go get a major deal if that's what the goal is.
You guys mentioned leverage a couple times. Talk about the importance of having leverage as an artist and how that can help get more favorable situations for all parties involved.
Gotcha. So yeah, leverage for me is super important because I look at it this way. Every artist feel like they should get a big bag when they sign, whether it's on the artist side, the label side or the publisher side. But what are we basing it off of if you don't got no momentum going, if you ain't got no fan base, if you haven't built those things on your own? So that's why I feel like it's so important to build it on your own. And then you got the leverage to go get, you can go ask for your own production deal, label deal, joint venture, if you got leverage. Yeah. But if you don't, then it's just like we're gonna give you a regular artist deal, and it is what it is at that point.
I mean, for me, leverage is like, in other terms, my balls to stand on. If I don't have no leverage, then I can't bully you into nothing. Right. As far as me and my client demands, if I don't have that leverage, I just gotta fight as hard as I can and accept what they got. Well, you don't have to accept it, but you don't have no leverage to stand on.
Right. I mean, so because I'm speaking from the label side, I hate when an artist has hella leverage, because it's just like it puts you in a predicament where it's like I said, it might put you from a business standpoint, like from a label standpoint, especially being I'm a smaller label, smaller JV, so I have a limited budget, but I really if I truly believe in you, I'm gonna invest. Yeah. So me investing, you don't know the circumstances it's putting me in. but because I believe in you, I'm willing to take that chance. So it's like I want you to have leverage in the situation, but I also want you to be like understand that if you believe in me and I believe in you, and mind you, you might have had several conversations with multiple people, and that's cool having those conversations. It's cool like you should take every conversation, have all those things. But if we develop a bond and you like, bro, this is what I want to rock with, then I want you to have your leverage, but I also want you to like let's work with each other because I'm doing everything in my power to make sure you're good. So you should also like it should be the favor should be returned because everything I'm doing is favorable anyway. Like I'm giving you a favorable deal because I mean this is not my end all be all. This is me like I enjoy doing it.
Yep.
I enjoy doing it and I want to see you succeed. So I think like leverage is a great thing, but like it's hard from the other side of the table with somebody got leverage.
For sure. I mean, for me, that it's the same way with me having a distro. It's like you said something key about, you go take the meetings and talk to other people. But if you're investing your time and willing to invest in these people, you want them to rock with you just like you're rocking with them. So that's how I look at it from the distro side. Of course, it's 1,000 distro companies out here, but what some clients have said to me why they like working with CW Distro is because it feels like a family. It's a little boutique feel, and they're able to get us on the phone when they have issues or concerns, and we come support when they have events or do certain things. So, and you probably not gonna get that at other bigger distro companies. So, for me, that's like I want to do business with people that want to do business with me. If it's just about the bag, then maybe I ain't the place. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of people that give you the bag. Maybe it just ain't us.
That's real.
So
I think what we start to see a lot now, especially within like now with sampling coming back so heavy, a lot of artists are like, especially operating with distros, they'll come with a sample record. And the funniest thing when they come with a sample record, I'd be like, dog, did you get it cleared? They're like, no, I ain't get it cleared. So you expect me to go, like, mind you, we could walk into a situation and you're an independent artist, you might have a minimal budget, you haven't even done the proper steps of even trying to get it clear, right? So artists don't understand that if you put it out, like you can go put it out on TuneCore, you can put it out on DistroKid, you can even put it out on CWE. But the reality of it is if the person who owns the master rights to that hears it and the record is moving, they have every right to come and claim the entire record. Yeah. Because you never owned it. Mm-hmm. So I think like it's funny now because like I said, operating in a JV space, I have artists that come to me all the time that have a record and it might be a really good record, but if it's sampled, I can't do anything about it. Like there's like I can go talk to DMG, but even if I go talk to DMG might say, yeah, I'm gonna reach out to the master owner. They might say, hey, I want 10,000, yep. And this is where the economics comes in again. It's like you want $10,000 for this record. The record might have 1 million streams on it. That's $3,500 on if that's on Spotify. It's like now I gotta start thinking like, what's the longevity of this record? Does it make sense for me to invest in this record? And then trying to explain that to an artist is like, my shit is hot because it's their first time seeing 1 million streams. You're like, you're right, it probably is hot for right now, but if we don't really see the value in that record, or if the record doesn't have the longevity, that's a super calculated risk of me. I have to pay for the clearance, but then I also like you probably gonna want a bag too because you're getting offers. So that's where when we talked about majors and indies, that's where the majors and indie comes in because the major can go and say, yeah, I pay to get that cleared, and I give you a little $30,000 for the single, and it's not even a dent in their pocket, but they're probably not gonna work the record. They just want to get it because it's gonna keep 3 lights. It's gonna keep 3 lights on, 2 hallways gonna be lit, and the water bill gonna get paid. Outside of that, they don't care. Whereas when you operate with a smaller label, like this record can either make or break what I got going on for this quarter or for the next half of the year. Yeah. So I think like artists got to understand that too. Like sampling is cool, but if you don't have the budget to already go ahead, or you don't have the know-how to go ahead and try to get some shit cleared, bro, just don't sample or go get it remade, go get it replayed.
Yeah, and for me on the distro side, it's more about managing these expectations because they feel like they come to us as a distro, but they want us to act as a major. Meaning like they got all these big ideas and they want to do these huge marketing spins and, they want tour support, which has nothing to do with the distro, but they want things as if they're signed to a major. The goal for us is to make them feel like it's a major because we offer label services and things like that. But budgetary wise, it's not that. So again, it's about managing those expectations. So, we got to start from somewhere and grow and build a momentum and build a buzz. And then if you decide you want to go to a major and get a bag, cool. But again, this is distro, it's not a major. So this is about managing expectations. Okay, I would say the pros to signing to a distro is that again, you're able to get somebody on the phone quicker and get things, concerns addressed or issues addressed quicker than if you sign to a major. And a major might got 1,000 clients signed, where us as a newer distro, we may got 50. So we have time to really focus and keen in on these artists and help build their buzz and fan base so they get more attention for us.
Wait a second.
Okay, I would say one of the pros for signing to independent distribution is that, you know, most people want to still have their creative control and be able to release the music that they want to release and create the sound that they want to create. So that's one of the advantages of being signed to independent distribution. Versus signed to a major, you're going to have an A&R, you're going to have a project manager, and these people, and they're going to have their own vision of what they think you should be as an artist, right? So it's a lot of clashing that happens. With distro, you're your own boss. Whatever the sound is, that's the sound. Whatever the single you feel is, that's the single. And if you ask us for our opinion, we can help A&R that. But you still your own boss and you can make those decisions. So that's the pro, one of the pros of signing to independent distribution. I would say one of the cons are that you won't have that financial support that you would have with a major. Just won't. Like, so majors have huge A&R budgets, huge marketing budget, promo budgets, and they have a huge staff that for every department. Whereas with indie, you know, it's more so just a small team, but it's more family feel, and you know, we work to get things done with whatever budget that we have.
Yeah, like I agree 100%. I think that the pros and cons for me are, if you go to a major, most of the time it's musical chairs at majors. Like, people are always, it's so many people, so many jobs in the building, and what I realized, like, coming from that side of the business, that a lot of people are looking for their next opportunity in those spaces, right? So if they're looking for their next opportunity, you got somebody that might be an admin one day and they're like, "Hell, I don't want to be an admin. I want to be an A&R." So they're looking for their next opportunity, and they're literally out seeking, when they're networking, they're looking at other labels to go to. They're looking at other places to go that could be more of a space for them. So there's not a care necessarily for their roster because they didn't develop those real relationships, right? Whereas at an indie, you have people that are like people who actually have the passion for the business, and they have the passion for their artists that they start loving. Now, mind you, it's still economics to that too on the business. Like, I think I keep touching on the word economics because that's a huge part of the business in general. Like, you got artists that are looking for the best opportunity, and you have executives that are looking for the best opportunity. So at the indie, when they're looking for the best opportunity, they're literally sitting there and they're saying, I know if I help turn my artists up, then it's gonna give me an opportunity. So they have way more care. They're doing the little things that a major, he might have 7 artists on his roster. He like, shit, 2 of them gonna be good. Yeah. The other one, bro, I just had to sign him because I got to sign to him. He pops, he does it, whatever. Yeah. But it's like baseball. They bat 300, they go into Hall of Fame. It's totally fine. Whereas in indie, you have 3 artists, you're going to care, like, you're going to go above and beyond for those 3 artists and try to make sure that all of them get it, because you know if all of them get it, your opportunity's going to come, but they're like, now it looks even better on your resume. So I think, like I said, the pros and cons of it are, like, you got to really just get in the building, like, and this comes from your manager, this comes from whoever's on your team got to get in the building and start developing relationships across the board, whether that's the admin, because you want to make sure all your stuff is cleared properly. That's the project managers. Make sure you might be talking to another artist project manager, but she or he is absolutely in love with you as an artist, and they might just throw you looks off the strength of it because you're a genuine person. Down to the sync and license, just develop relationships with everybody, because you can literally go talk to anybody, and something can happen from any of those relationships.
So it's a good. I think you used the example of, like, you can use like RJ. You ain't gotta say his name, but like you can use like RJ, because y'all had major deals that want to sign, and then independents made distributions, and y'all I don't know what made you to say I'm gonna just go to CWE.
You want to say the truth?
Go ahead.
Could you just pull the deal?
Oh.
What's the question?
Like, what is your advice to an artist if he got a major deal on the table from a major label, and if he got a couple of major
Oh, if he got
deals
two deals?
and independent? Like, is it just gonna be about the money, or how you gonna?
I think I differentiate. No, I said that all the way wrong. I think I separate it as I compare what both situations are. If it's independent, do we have enough, not even just money, just enough power and movement to keep going independent until if we need a major or if we don't need a major, or we feel like we could do it on our own with a partner. Versus if we go to a major where you have to sell all your rights, but we kind of need this money and this push. Is everything all situational is based on what our needs are. Yeah. If we feel like we can't do it on our own with a independent partner, then of course we gotta go to a major. But if we feel like we got this, we can hold off for like another year, see where it go. If it keep growing, and then we just keep going until we say we can't do it no more.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's just like, I think it's different for me because I'm an entrepreneur at heart. Like, I always have my own companies. I never worked for nobody. So for me, that's why indie makes sense for me, because I just always wanted to do my own thing at my own time when I get ready. And that's the beauty of artists doing it independently. You can do whatever you want to do at your own time. You ain't got to wait for no label to tell you when you can come out. You ain't got to wait for a label to tell you, I think your brand or image should be this. You can do what you want to do, and that's just how I am in life. I always been an entrepreneur, and that's how I look at indie versus signing to a major. Indie, you your own boss, you're an entrepreneur. Major, you working for somebody.
I mean, for
that
me,
might not be accurate, but that's just how I look at it.
For me, I've always told people don't go into a major expecting them to do everything. I make a label work for me. I don't wait for them to give me an answer like, this is what we're doing, this is what we want to do. Make it happen. Let's make it happen together. But I'm not waiting on y'all for approval to do anything. If I need to do it, I put my own funds up, I'll make it happen, and then say, I told you should have did it. Yeah. Now you got to listen to me moving forward. But I've never been in a situation where I'm asking for permission to do something. I make you work for me. Because that's the only way you can make money, if you make the artist make money.
Yep. I agree.
I mean, I think artists got to also put together their own schedule. Like, we talked about it earlier. Like, I think artists don't realize that this is a job. So, yeah, even though you're indie and you can move at your own pace, if you don't treat this like the same way you would treat if you were the manager of Target, like, you're not going to be successful. Like, you got to wake up and do music every day. You got to wake up and do something to further your career every day. If you're not, like, you don't have the luxury of taking a vacation in the middle of the week or say, today I'm not going to do anything. There needs to be something, especially if you're not where you want to be as an artist, there needs to be something that you're doing to apply yourself to elevate your brand and what you got going on. And that comes from, like, when it even goes down to a schedule, like, if you are funding your stuff on your own, don't wait for me to be like, just because you do have a budget, the label might not be clearing the budget right now.
Right. Yep.
Or the label, or label might not be clearing it, or you can't get the project manager to operate the way you want them to operate at the time because they're focused on something else. That's a bigger project in their eyes at the time, right? So you just got to get it done. So when you do it, then you go back and say, look, I've done it. This is what we're doing. So now that's when that gives you leverage in the conversation, because like, this person is outworking me. Now you're making everybody else in the room, you're making the A&R, you're making the project manager, you're making them all look bad because you're actually outworking. And it's very rare that you come across an artist that sit there and outwork their label and outwork the project managers. And when you do find those people, that's when you're like, they start becoming very successful. But I think that you just gotta, like, artists gotta really apply themselves. Like, this is a full-time job. It's not a hobby. Yep. Especially if you're doing this. And if you're independent, this shit is, you're working 12, 14-hour days, and that's between marketing, that's between release schedule, that's between content. You should be shooting content almost 4 or 5 hours in a day's time, and that's not even necessarily just music content. That's content, that's lifestyle content, that's reels, that's everything that's going to build your social star. So I think, like I said, it's a job, full-time job.
No, I agree. think another thing that's important is whether you sign to a major or indie, you need to have your own budget and be able to do stuff outside of not just sit like you said. Don't sit back and just wait on what the label gonna do for you. Have your own budget and move on your own. Whether you indie or major, you need to have your own budget and work.
Get your credit together.
Yeah, for sure.
If you get good credit, you can. Well, you can go get you a little file. You get your LLC file. You get your business loan. Like it's so many ways. Like you gotta operate like a small business. Like that's what you are. You're literally a small entity.
Yeah.
So if you're a small entity, you need to operate in that same light. I honestly think like when it comes to profit margins in the business, this is why I said we need less artists and more politicians. We need people to be lobbyists. Like literally, when Spotify came around in 2015, 2014, nobody said, "Hey, this is how the economics are." You let a tech company walk in the building and say, "Hey, this is how much I'm gonna pay you for your art." So it's like it's technically our fault that we got to the place we are, and we talk about profit margins now. It's even harder for if you're in a less developed country. Like I deal with a lot of business in Africa, so dealing with the streaming in Africa is based on the currency and the conversion rate. So at one point it was $1,400 to one, $1,400 to one. So that conversion rate and those streams, mind you, streams are calculated. It's not necessarily the streams; it's the ad revenue. It's calculated in USD. It's not calculated in other currencies. So you can have 1 billion streams in Africa, and it doesn't. It's like you almost having 100 million streams. So it's like it's not even fair. But it's like I still had 1 billion people listening to my record, or I still had 1 billion. It was played 1 billion times, so it should be added the same way. So I think we're getting to a space where the politics of it have to change. Like we have to have people that go back and lobby. Well, it's kind of late. We're late in the game because streaming has been around, but we still need people that are lobbying. We still need people that are walking into Apple Music, walking into Spotify, or standing on, not even walking in those buildings, standing on Capitol Hill and like literally saying this is what needs to happen because the economics aren't going to change anytime soon. Because Spotify literally doesn't have to. They don't care. How much money they're making from ads right now? They don't care. YouTube is probably the most fair payout because it's a media base with everything. It doesn't not necessarily just music. So YouTube is a little bit more fair. But we're in a space now where, from an artist, like it's squeezing everybody's neck because like 100 million streams, I'm literally making $70,000, $80,000, and that's with the splits of everybody else. How I'm breaking it down. Whereas in that same 100 million, Spotify's making a killing from the ads they're doing, or Apple Music's making a killing. So I think like we've gotten so far, went so far to the left, and people became so consumed with I want to be on a playlist. Fuck the playlist. I want to have fair payment. I want to have 50. It should be a 50-50 profit share. Like you take 50% for giving me the platform to do it, and we take our 50% instead of it being a conglomerate that most people like. Universal owns part, Sony owns part, all the majors own part. So all the distro companies that they have under them, they're eating hand over fist. And the smaller distros like the CWEs, it's harder for you to get a fair compensation because you're fighting for a pot that's not even, you ain't even get a spoon in the pot.
Right. Yep. So and also like when you think about economics, that's why I think independence and distribution is so key because you got multiple ways that you can control as far as making money. Meaning like if you're signed to a major, it's probably in a 360 deal, so they control a lot of things and they're making money off of your tours, they're making money off your merch and all those things. Where if you're independent, you might not make as much as you want from the streaming side, but if you build a fan base up, you can get your buzz up, you can go do shows, and you can make that money. You can promote your own shows, or you can buy onto another tour. But if you promote your own shows, you can make that money. You can create your own merch, sell your own merch, you can make that money versus going through a major. So you just have more ways and more opportunities to make more money as an independent versus a major.
I mean, I don't really pay attention to it because my whole thought process is make my client as much money. So whether that's music, brands, whatever I got to do to make the money, because I take it for it is what it is. Like, what I'm going to do right now. Like,
yeah, you look at it like whatever you get, I'm going to get my 20%. So, like, let's get the money however we can get it.
Yeah, and, like, let's get as much as we can. We know this is the formula of streaming. We know this is our business of merch. We know this is our business of brands. take advantage of all of it and get the most out of everything that we can. So, I mean, I can't change the economics of it.
I agree.
That's good. I feel the same way.
Yeah.
Like it's whack. But yeah. I wanted to touch on that because I forget the artist's name that's out of LA, LaRussell. And
He hates me.
He had a post that went viral that, if you do this amount of, I guess songs or 25 songs make a certain amount of streams, and you done made like you done made six figures or 25. I don't remember, but I was like, he shouldn't say that.
It worked for him, it ain't gonna work for nobody else.
Well, it don't really work properly.
I'm about to say the best example is Sauce Walker. Sauce Walker, like he literally Sauce had a Sauce talked about the economics of his business. He's not an artist that you probably can't name 7 catalogs respectfully. You can't name 7 records in his catalog. Mind you, it's not saying he doesn't have good music. But the average person can't name it. But he talked about how it's like compound interest. If you continue to put out a plethora of music, like you put out a project every 2 months or a project every month, like the reality, if you have 10 songs and then at 10 songs you get, let's say you get a million streams across those 10 records, and you keep putting out projects and it's 10 records each time, by the time you look up at the end of the year, you're over 50 to 100 million streams. So you actually have a sustainable business. Like you're probably gonna make about $80,000 to $100,000 a year off just that catalog. Mind you, now you create a business too because you have a back catalog that you can go take out a loan against your catalog. There's other places of business you can do. You have publishing you can get into, but I think and that's where it comes to understanding the business and artists, and that's what even Brandon just talked about, like different ways of understanding how to build your business. If you're an artist that can record 1,000 songs in a year, well, the reality is you're not gonna go platinum on your hard drive. So if you can put 1,000 songs a year and you like quality's pretty decent, you have a fan base, continue to put out music. Don't stop putting out music because you're the reality of it is, if you have a core fan base, at a bare minimum with that core fan base, you're going to have a sustainable amount of streams because you have people like, let's say you have 2 million monthly listeners, and that's been constant, and you continue to put out music every single month. Every month you put out 5 records every single month, and those 2 million listeners, let's say you averaged 400 to 500,000 on those records, and you're doing that every single month. Look at the end of the month. 400 times 12. Yeah. Like it's just that's what I'm saying. It's really like you understanding how like the simplicity of like your business has to be super simple, and then you compound it from there.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
Collaboration, how important collaboration is.
Collaboration.
Yeah. I mean, you see it with X with collaboration.
With who?
I'm just saying in general, like you see X how like it's a proper collaboration where he's crossed the boundaries of music and crossed the boundaries of like just transcended the boundaries of genre where it's like there's multiple, like we went from Coachella to Stagecoach.
I mean, but I feel like that's situational because a lot of times now collabs don't even add no value to a record for real no more.
But the reason his made sense because it's part of his like it's actual
part
brand.
of his like core, so it's like new to his core. But a lot of times, these features don't add nothing besides a week of chatter. It's like you be paying these feature fees and it don't equate to nothing but 2-3 blogs posting.
I mean, but I think with even with X, I think a lot of people don't see the friendships. Like him and Shabuzi are really friends.
Oh yeah, now they are.
Him and Morgan really friends. Like those are his real friends.
No,
well,
we can take that out. They're not friends.
I would say, for me, as an indie artist, you still got to figure out how to bring in money to build your career, build your brand. Like you got to take a chance on yourself. Whether if you got to have a side job to make some income to be able to market yourself and do what you need to do, you got to do it. But you got to step out and take a chance. And if you really believe and really want this, right? Like look at JuJu. He had a guaranteed salary, and he decided to take a risk and do his own label and his own thing, and it's working out for him. But he could have just got to stay comfortable and stay working for a label the rest of his life. But he decided to take a chance, and it's working out for him. It's not gonna be easy, but you gotta, at some point, you gotta say, this is what I'm doing, and just do it. And so, of course, I say I prefer indie because for me, I'm gonna figure it out one way or the other. So I just rather figure it out versus depending on somebody else to figure it out for me. So that's just how I look at it.
I mean, I agree 1,000%. I think it's funny because it's like just the way life works and the way the business works, right? I just signed an artist, and prior to me signing him, he still maintains his day-to-day job, but now I gave him an advance, right? And giving him an advance, the first thing he said was, "Hey, bro, I was able to pay my credit card bill that I would use to build my studio, and that I record myself, I do X, Y, and Z, but I was able I took the advance, I paid my debts off to make sure that I can maintain a livelihood." And he was like, "So the advance you gave me, the part of that went to this. The other part was make sure that I can record the rest of my music. Mind you, as soon as we signed, he turned his entire album in. His album was done. 2 projects completely done. But I say that to say, he still to this day maintains his day job, but he's also understands that this is the first step to your next 2 years of your life, the next 3 years of your life. So he's been setting those things to the side. He was literally bro, I might have had, I don't know, a couple $1,000s, maybe 5 figures worth of debt in the credit card. I was able to pay that 5-figure debt off, and now it's that gives me life for a little bit longer to handle the business. So I think artists, that's what I say, and mind you, it's easier said than done, but understanding how to maintain the credit side of it, because you are a small business. So if you have good credit, you can go, as a small business, you can go get a small business loan, and you just got to show how you're going to maintain and build it. But if you have a job, like you said, maintain a job on the side, you can pay the little interest of that loan. You can pay that down monthly. I'm not telling you go get $100,000 business loan now, but go get $20,000, go get $15,000. That $15,000 can pay for, that might be your video, that's all your content, and that's your entire project. You record your entire project. That $15,000 investment could easily turn into $100,000, $1 million investment if you are. Because what's going to happen is a different fire is going to be lit under you. Now you're going to know that, hey, the clock is against me. This is money I got to pay back. So if you turn up, you can go to a label now, and the label, whatever deal, you go to a distro, go to a label, they going, like I said, we talked about earlier, they're going to buy you out of that. So that 10,000 and 15,000 is going to become an easy 100,000. So I think it's the matter of you locking in once you get the fire under you.
Brandon, can you speak to the ways to make money as an artist? Earlier you said the Spotify stream is just a small piece of the pie. Can you speak to the whole pie?
I mean, you got streaming, you got sales, you got merch, you got brands, touring, publishing. I think that's all of it.
Those the key ones.
Yeah, they're the major ones. Merch can really be a number one revenue driver. A lot of artists lack to do now is train their audience or fan base or community to buy merch. So if you can train your community to buy merch and you grow it, that can make you a lot more money than what your streaming will, not your touring, because that's just a whole different bag. But that could be a lot of residual cash that you just sit back and don't really even have to do much to do, but collect on that. Publishing, just keep all your publishing, make that money. Streaming, make some good music, make people want to stream. Touring, put on a good show. Actually know what a good show is. That's gonna keep you doing shows forever. What else we got?
Lifestyle.
Brands, keep your brand clean. That could be endless money.
Lifestyle.
Yeah.
I think lifestyle, and the reason I say lifestyle, T Grizzly, great example. I don't know the last time T Grizzly put out a record, but I damn sure could tell you last time he was on Twitch, and he talked about
that record with Chris and Mariah, it went up.
I mean, I'm just saying, I can't tell you the last time I was actively like waiting for a T Grizzly project.
Oh.
But I'm like, what I do go on, like I've seen my nephews go on Twitch and watch his server because he streams his GTA server. His Twitch, like he's active, and I don't know the proper numbers, but he talked about how much he was making monthly. He was like it definitely outpaces what he was doing in music, so it changed him. Same thing with T-Pain. T-Pain had a resurgence in even his career because of Twitch. So I think like that's where I say like we talked about earlier. If you a chef, get your ass on Twitch or get on something and stream your music while you cooking and show people your recipes. Like actually bring people into your life. You don't got to show them everything, but bring them to your life and make them want you to be involved. And that's how you train your fan base. If you are an amazing singer and you can cook, make a spoon. Shit, I don't know. But that's a piece of merch. It's something that your fans they'll buy into. Because we see it happening. It happens across not just music. It happens across every genre. When people like buy into the lifestyle of who that person is, you could. If Searcy says he likes pens, if people bought into Searcy lifestyle, he can start selling ink pens. So I think it's literally that like the business. We don't have to overcomplicate it. It's very simple. It's just a lot like. Compound interest again. You got to compound the simplicity of things.
I mean, I feel like since you said that's in Atlanta, you got the advantage because it's so much stuff that go on in Atlanta where you could just network and just be around places pushing your stuff for free. I feel like in Atlanta you could build a whole community that will pay for your living. Like Atlanta's like to me one of the easiest places for music because it's just we're known for music. Everybody around here listen to music. We ain't mean like New York. Like we got Southern hospitality here. I feel like it's easier in Atlanta.
Yeah, and I would say just consistency. You got to stay consistent. So if you are making $3,000 a month, keep continuing what you're doing and get creative. Figure out other ways to grow that. So staying consistent with what you're doing and still figure out other ways to continue to grow money outside of that.
I was about to say, you making $36,000 a year. I keep going back to you are a small business. Most t-shirt companies don't make $36,000 a year. So by you if you actually incorporate your business properly, go get an LLC, you can literally go and say that my business on paper makes $36,000 a year because you have the statements to prove it. So you can actually take out a loan against what you're doing because you have the income to show. And that literally now you go back and you write out a plan of how you're going to invest that into your career. And now you break that out over a period of 12 months, including the payments back. Your $36,000 might now be $100,000. So now you're here. Not only have the source, you don't got to worry about your everyday rent now because that's covered. Because now you're also filing your home as like I hope you have a microphone in your house. I hope you got something. At least go in your house and record something. Now it's considered part of your business because it's a home studio. So I think like I said, it's the simplicity of it. It's understanding every part of the business and saying, okay, how can I maximize this for myself? So if you're making $36,000 as an artist, you're making a lot more than most artists. So now just take that and leverage that. And then you also think about it. We talk about catalog. If you have you're making $36,000 a year, it's not a big catalog, but you actually have a catalog business. You can go there's companies that literally give you an advance against your catalog because you have proof of income. Yep. So I think like it's understanding like the different parts, the other ways that you can generate revenue in the business, but also understanding like if you can't get a hold with Brandon, you can't talk to Searcy, you can't talk to me, you can't talk to somebody that can steer you, bro. You have the power of YouTube at your hands. People can tell you how they're making money. Like go look at the artists that are super successful and I can't say go look at them super successful. You don't know them because you don't know them, but look at artists who have sustainability and why they're sustaining themselves. Like it's so many artists that are like that there's artists that make $30,000 a year, $50,000 a year, $100,000 a year, and so on and so forth. I actually develop relationships on the other side of the business where it's like you develop relationships with ASCAP BMI, especially if you're in Atlanta. We've got both of those offices in Atlanta. Yep. Go talk to them. Go talk to a financial advisor. Go talk to different people. Like build real, genuine relationships. I'm not telling you to go hire a financial advisor, but go talk to them and be like, look, this is what I'm making. Is there any ways that I can leverage this business and move from there? Like, but you gotta want this. That's when we say you gotta outwork me. If an artist comes to me and it has that in place, I'll take a $36,000 artist in a heartbeat because I'm like, oh, this motherfucker, he's gonna outwork me any day of the week because he went and found a way to take this 36,000, turn that 36,000 to 72,000, turn that 72 to 152,000, and he's like, he's adding on to it every time. Whereas in somebody that's like, hey man, all I got is I make $3,000 a year for my music, X, Y, Z, like help me. I don't know what to help you with because you ain't got enough for the pie for Brandon want to come in and 15%, 20% of 3,000. Brandon ain't gonna wake up out of bed. He can get out of bed. That put gas in his car for the month. So like being for real though, like.
Well, he electric now, so he good. He got
Yes, I'm just saying like, but this shit real though, isn't it? Like you ain't gonna get out of bed for $600. Like it don't change nothing.
Yeah.
So I think it like. You gotta really like when you say you gotta outwork us, you really gotta outwork us. So you gotta think about every possible thing, and then come to me when you have a plan. You say, I need help executing, because if I gotta help you plan now, like it's not
Partnership.
Yeah,
Like
it's
50-50.
Exactly. We're in a partnership. This is no longer a commission base. This is me in a partnership with you.